Hello, y'all. I have been on a Cher kick. I've been listening to the album Heart of Stone. Again, I love this album anyway. I love that album. It's a classic. It is, no matter what you think about Cher, that album is a classic album. It is the album that has Turn Back Time on it, has Just Like Jesse James on it, Heart of Stone. And y'all, the song that's been stuck in my head is just like over and over the same line. And I don't know if this is themed around this eclipse Aries energy or what, but it's like, sure, baby, I should let you in so you can let me down again. And it's like, I'm just like, ooh, it's a vibe. This Aries energy is a vibe. Am I right or am I right? So anyway, I thought I would do a eclipse read for the collectives. Now, if you're new here, how I'm going to explain this moving forward is that so whatever card you tapped into is in a collective timeline. It is a specific energetic alignment that you are tapping into. And so I will put in the description box sort of what the alignment is in the current energy that you have stepped into. So something I realized is that energy shifts in a nanosecond. And so some of the collectives, like we can shift through these energies depending on who or what we're dealing with, or the kind of, just the energetic vibration and the experiences that we have going on around us. We can tap into specific energetic alignments. And so this is just sort of varying sort of spaces on the energetic scale that we're tapping into, and that's how the collectives are divided. So we are going to do, and the thing is also, if you're new here as well, each collective has their own set of decks. So within that, there will be like primary decks that will only be within that collective because they're in that energy. So the decks kind of had, I had noticed that the decks had specific energy attached to them, and it was difficult to differentiate them or divide them between collectives. And so I tended to be actually gravitating anyway, just kind of naturally, to some of the decks for some of the readings that I was doing. And so I just decided to divide up the decks energetically. So that is how things will be divided here. And this is going to be a general reading on advice in your current situation, or sort of what to expect in this eclipse energy, because it's a pretty Aries, like Mercury was in Aries for a while, and I'm not like super keen on all this like zodiac astrology stuff, so don't shoot me, if you are like, well, that's not actually accurate, because it's quite possible that I don't, that's just what I heard. So I'm literally regurgitating something I heard. So I heard anyway that Mercury was in Aries over the weekend, and the solar eclipse is in Aries. And so there's just a lot of really fiery energy, and Mercury retrograde automatically is sort of operating it feels like we're operating in reverse, or that we're like dredging up feelings and all that. So couple that into some fiery energy, and I don't know about y'all, but it has been a passionate few days in terms of like my emotions. It's like, whoo, a Friday in particular, like riding into this like eclipse. Friday was super intense for me anyway. I don't know if it was intense for everybody else, but that was probably the most intense day that I had energetically this weekend. So anyway, enough about me, enough babbling. Let's go ahead and get you into the readings. We have group 1, group 2, and group 3. Hello, group 1. This is interesting that the vow is coming in, because y'all, we're in the same kind of, I'm consistently in the group 1 collective. That's where my energy typically is. I'm typically in the group 1 space, and I don't know about y'all, but I keep seeing reading after reading after reading that is like, someone's gonna reach out and message you, and I can't stand, honestly, I can't stand titles like that, because it feels like it's never ending. I remember when I was dealing with a breakup in the past, and it was like, they're going to reach out. They're going to reach out. You know how long it took that person to like realistically reach out on their own? It was a long, long time. And like, if I had been just reading the same titles like over and over and over and over again, it was, I don't know. I guess like, for me, I like to look at this as, okay, so we can kind of peek in on people and we can peek in on what they're doing, but I feel like a part of sort of aligning in is surrendering, right? It's about letting go. So if we continue to manifest that they're going to be coming and they're going to be coming and they're going to be coming, well, then it's just we're gonna be perpetually be in that space, right? So it's interesting that the vow came in because I've been avoiding titles like the plague the last like week when I've been on YouTube, because every time I get on, it's like, you know, I'm a Taurus and it's like, hey Taurus, someone's thinking about you and they're gonna reach out, and I'm like, is there a reading like that doesn't say that for me, please? So if you're in my collective and you're on my timeline, it's very possible that you've been seeing a lot of titles like that as well. And okay. Anyway, enough about that, enough complaining. Let's get into it, because the interesting thing is group one. Let me just put my foot in my mouth. Is there's a vow, but here's the thing, is that there's some kind of, in my opinion, this is less about a commitment to someone else, and it's more about a commitment to self. And the interesting thing about this card is that there are, it's like there are people holding hands like this, right? And then there's an extra hand. But when you look at it from this perspective, you see this little gem down here? It looks like someone's holding on to a hand that like doesn't belong to them. And when I saw that, I was like, that's really interesting, because it's not like connected to anybody else, or just how it looks visually. And it made me think of how really this vow and this commitment has to be a situation within self, where we're committing to something within ourself. And this, oh boy, here we go, not being able to talk, with this eclipse energy. And that, oh, there's so much going on, y'all. I don't know enough about this to talk about it, but I have watched this astrologer on YouTube, and he's been talking about this eclipse and the transition that it's going to have in correlation with the age of Aquarius, and talking about how it's going to shift and transcend the way that we view modern relationships. It's really fascinating. I'm going to have to see if I can figure out who he is, because I wish I just knew his name off the top of my head, and I always think of it when I'm in the middle of doing a reading. I'll look at it though and see if I can remember to put it in the description box, but if not, remind me, and then I'll go find him, because I'm subscribed to him. So anyway, so I know that there's a lot going on in this sort of new era of you know, just being that we have sort of been in the age of Aquarius, and now it's really sort of like taking momentum. Even look into that too if you don't know a whole lot about that. That's a rabbit hole in itself. But it's just this new way, and essentially, of looking at relationships, and it's moving into this sort of unconventional space. And within your group one, it just seems as though this is so much less about your relationship with other people. In fact, I would really argue that y'all need to get into a space of receptivity, where you are actually not dwelling and concerning yourself with what other, you know, with what the other person is doing or other people are doing, and just send them sort of what you wish to receive in return. It doesn't have to be from that person, but you know, I have someone that I was dealing with, and I just send that person love. I just pray for them, and then I try my best to not just dwell on, you know, thinking about what they're up to, and also we have to get into this alignment that if we really have to get down on the reality that if they wanted to, they would, rather than just us, you know, building in these assumptions and building in these scenarios in our head and getting all up in our head space, thinking, you know, first of all, why are we doing that? Why are we selling ourselves short in spaces that it's already been established that we're not being appreciated in? You know what I mean? So it's like, why are we in that headspace? So why are we in the headspace of even worrying about what they're doing? Because if they were worried about us, because oftentimes what I have found is that in the group one collective in particular, the people who have been really communicative, or at least were able to say like, this is how I'm feeling, is often the person that's tapping in to view it, and it's the other person that was sort of aloof or non-communicative. And we need to remember too that lying is still omitting details. Like if you feel something energetically in a certain space with somebody and you feel as though they're not telling you something, they probably aren't telling you something. And we have to get into this commitment with self where we are going to start trusting ourselves. So really, group one, I feel like the vow thing has a lot to do with that. I'm sorry, I'm a chatty Kathy today. I don't know if it's this energy or if I'm just feeling good or what. I apologize in advance. I'm talky today. I'm a little bit talky. But I feel that that's something that your reading is going to be about, though. All right, let's go ahead and get into the message for you. What does group one need to know? Yeah, we're going to just put down the past at this point. We're walking away from old patterns of behavior. We're done. We done, okay? Done. Yeah, we're done. It's like done being in this space of, look at this, just, it's time to pivot, group one. It is so time to pivot. Yeah, and recognize that, here's the thing, thank you. Oh, I knew this was coming. Here's the thing, is that in terms of manifestation, okay, and how manifestation works, what you think about, you bring about. So if you are sitting there and you're concerned and dwelling and contemplating, a multitude of results in a certain situation, and you're wondering why things are making you even more worried or even more anxious or even more frustrated, well, it's because being in that space of the unknown and filling in all the blanks on your own is creating a lot of worry and concern. And your brain is like, and also the reality around you is like, well, obviously this is what they want to be doing. They want to be sitting around thinking about this all the time. So let's give them more space to think about that. And ultimately, like, you need to get into your present body, and you need to get out of your head, and you need to quit dwelling on the situation and quit overthinking it, and get in the space of utilizing your intuition and not blindly. The Two of Swords is, in my opinion, it's a card of intuition, because she's sitting there and she's got her swords and she's got the blindfold over her head, right? And she's if you come at her, she's got swords in her hand and she's gonna fight. And it's all this, like, it's in my opinion, it's about mental strength. I don't ever see that card as like a duality in decision making, and specifically because she's blindfolded. And so if she is using comparative analysis, she's doing it all inside her head and through trusting how she feels, because she can't see anything else outside of that. So she's only able to use her intuition. And we can get in a space when we're sort of blindly guiding ourselves, where we know better, but we aren't doing better, right? We know what we need to be doing. We know the steps that we need to be taking. And then we fall right back into the old patterns of behavior and the old cycles of behavior, where we find ourselves worrying about things and putting ourselves in a space of seeking outcomes or seeking validation. And this would be a collective. In fact, I think all of my collectives have been in a space in which we have spent too much time in certain timelines where we are seeking validation to an extent that is harming us. And so this is like, get out of your head and put this down and move on. Almost, it's kind of a move on vibe, because right now you're in this space with the Seven of Swords in reverse, where it's like we're not moving on from it. We're kind of in this space of just mental, I don't want to say, I was going to say mental gymnastics, but I don't think that's the right phrase for this space. It's like a mental restriction, right? Where we are restricting ourselves from being able to move past a situation because the outcome didn't really go how we had intended it to. And that's, you know what? That's just how things go. And no matter how you felt energetically. And here's the thing is that it's something that we need to understand is that oftentimes, collective one, when we feel those hits energetically, we're not wrong, okay? But it is also us connecting into our own feelings and what we are capable of providing in certain spaces. Sometimes we also get in a space in which we are, there's so many things in the 3D world that sort of disconnect us, right, from being able to connect in with our emotional body and to be able to trust our intuition. When we are faced with resistance, we have to understand that the solution to resistance is often in the resistance, right? When we face our fears, there are answers in the fears. I talked about this one time on another reading, but the solution to the problem is in the problem, right? And I had told y'all about how I watched that reel with James Vanderbeek, where he was cleaning a stove, and how he was able to clean the screen of the stove was to utilize the ashes that were in the stove, and the ashes cleaned the screen of the stove and it made it like look brand new. And so he was able to utilize the thing that created that mildew to clean the mildew, right? And so it's being in this space of recognizing that part of our, when we are faced with resistance, there is a purpose, and it's a greater purpose, and it has a lot less to do with being in a blessed state, though I believe that every lesson is a blessing. But when we're in that state and there's resistance in particular, there's a lesson to be learned there. There's something we're not learning, and we're kind of choosing not to learn because we just want to have a different outcome for a change. It's like it's doing the same thing and expecting different results. We've been here before, and that's a big message for the group one collective is like, you know this, and here we are, and we're stepping down this because we just are like, at what point is it not going to be the same damn bullshit? And I'm just going to say it like that. And I'm sorry for my language, but it is that, right? It's like, get fed up, group one, get fed up with dealing with that nonsense. And then choose yourself, and really choose yourself. And if whatever is, in this situation and in this moment, if that ends up coming back around and it comes into fruition, well then, baby, you best use discernment in that space and remember what someone was okay doing when they knew how you were feeling. And don't forget that. Hold your power and hold your ground, because let me tell you something. Oftentimes, what I have found is that eventually, in certain spaces, things do balance out. Things do come around. Karma does deliver. And so here's the thing, is if karma, it delivers, then you have to make sure that you know that what you are putting into something is what you wish to receive. Do you want to feel anxious? Do you want to feel worrisome? Do you want to feel like you're not good enough? Do you want to feel like there's something wrong with you? Do you want to feel like you're in the wrong damn place? I can answer that for you, because I can pretty much guarantee that you do not want to feel that, group one. And so I think that this message is like, look, let's get into a space in which we are choosing ourselves. And then maybe we can experience this. It's about moving into self and recognizing that if someone's going to come to you and commit to you, or be with you, or the person for you, actually, let's just get way out of that rabbit hole that we were just about to go in, because we're not going there. We're not going there. We're not planting seeds with a reason that someone may not be communicating with us properly. And you know why they're not communicating with us properly, group one? Because they don't know how. Okay, baby? They don't know how. Or there's some reason that they don't want to. That's their problem. You need to move on from it. And then whatever happens, happens, right? Okay. So to get us in this space of unity, you have to understand that the right person for you will do all of those things. And it'll fall into place and it'll feel natural. And I'm not saying that there aren't going to be situations and scenarios where there's fear-based things that are keeping us from communicating properly, because there will be. But what is meant for us will be for us. It is law, and you know it. So just worry about yourself. And if this situation is meant for you, it will come to you. Ooh, okay. We're in a whole vibe. All right, I really think that's the whole message, but I'm just going to go ahead and get you some message cards from the Gabrielle Bernstein deck. I'm sorry, this is such a short reading for you, Collective One, but I don't know, baby. It's just, that's the message, and we don't need to really, there's only so many ways you can say that message, and I don't want to sit here and just like beat a dead horse, you know what I mean? So, messages for you. Instead of praying for an outcome, I pray for the highest good of all. I love the way synchronicities work in tarot. When I think I've surrendered, I surrender more. Big facts. In fact, I would actually advise you, Collective One, to have a routine of surrendering all of the things that you overthink. You can put it in a journal and put it on paper. I've been journaling for 6 years, 7 years, 6 years, somewhere around there. I've been journaling for a long time. And I surrender every day to God. Like, I'll sit down and I'll be like, hello, God, blah, here's all the things. And then I'll ask for forgiveness in spaces that I feel I misstepped, or I'll be like, to my guides or to the guidance around me or to my ancestors, I'm like, hey, it doesn't matter if it's real or not. And I think we get tripped up on it. You know, there are people in this world are like, oh, it's so woo-woo to like think about angels and all that, you know, they have such a taboo perspective of it. And it's like the placebo is real, and we all get that. So if you can move this into a scientific space, which is why I love spirituality, because I think that spirituality and science, you know, science are homies, you know. So and I actually have not always been on a path where I would even communicate that I would say the word God. You know, I that's very recent for me that I have reconnected into God, but I'm certainly not religious. Anyway, enough about me. But having a spiritual path, right? Okay, oh, where was I going? Placebo. Thank you. The placebo we know is real. So we know that our mind can trick itself into believing things. You know, if you say that something is something and our mind really believes that it's that thing, then it works. It's effective. So the surrender, when you say things like, you know, you speak to your guidance outside of yourself, or you just like, why do we get into this space as adults where we stop being imaginative because we think that it's like stupid or silly? Or I just don't agree. I love to be in the magic every day, that it just believes that I have a spirit team of guidance around me that are helping me navigate through life. It makes me feel really fucking cool, actually. And so I think that, you know, why are we in this space of okay, I'm ranting. I can tell this is my collective so bad because I get into this space with y'all, and I've been recently, this Aries energy, man, I just come out so feisty in Collective One. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, y'all. But anyway, get into a space of surrendering, okay, where you're surrendering all this to something outside of yourself, to a higher power, so that you can just let it go. Do energetic cord removals if you have to, and be like, I'm going to, what is that? What is it? Why is it that I have known this dang saying since I was a little girl, and for some reason I can't say it in this moment? If you love something, let it go. If it comes back, it's yours. You know, the whole saying. So let's do that, okay? That was a box elder bug that was trying to creep its little way up here. We live in the Midwest, and we have like if you've been around here for a while, then you know that there's like a box elder bug infestation, and we live amongst 3 cornfields, and there's like these little bugs around, and I really don't know that I want to, like, they're not super intrusive in my home. Like, they're not like, they're just like few and far in between, but I don't know. That's how things really multiply, right? So anyway, but it was coming up there. That's what I was doing. And because I don't know how it looks on camera too, and I don't know what that looks like, you know, someone's like, wow, look at the little bug just like doo, 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 doo. Anyway. Oh my God, I'm so distracted. My ADHD is like flared up like times 1,000 in this collective. Okay. My capacity to tune into the energy of love gives me the words I need when I'm ready to speak up, the compassion I need when it's time to forgive, and the power I need when I am lost. Amen. One more. And I feel like as much as I babbled in this reading anyway, it's... This is crazy. So I saw this actually on the bottom of the deck. And I was like, oh, no, I'm not going to pull from the bottom of the deck. And then I just shuffled and it came out. Thank you, universe, for helping me see beyond the limits of fear. Thank you for expanding my perception so that I can see what is of the highest good. Yeah, letting go is super hard. And that's, we struggle with that as... We struggle with this as a collective of all people, not just us in this collective. No, this is something like letting go is really difficult. And even if there are people, you know, that give the illusion that they've let go, it doesn't mean they let go inside their mind, collective one. And, you know, and I think there are probably many of us in this collective that aren't easy to forget. And so it's time that we acknowledge that. Why are we hung up in a space in which we're often the better communicators, you know? So it's time, you know, choose yourself, step forward, get out there too. You don't have to hang on in this space. You do not have to do that. In fact, I would advise you to go to like get yourself out of purgatory, because this is purgatory. It is purgatory, sitting and waiting for an outcome that may not happen. And that's time being wasted. Your time, precious time that you won't get back. So it's time to start choosing yourself. All right. Okay. If this resonated with you, please like and subscribe to my channel. Leave me a comment down below. I love reading your comments. It's my favorite part of the day. I am trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. So if you heard this and it resonated with you, it's like, just like the channel. It's like one little thing you got to do to support me. It would help me and my family astronomically, and we would so appreciate it. And more importantly, I would appreciate you coming back and being a part of my collective and being a part of the tribe and engaging into the conversations that we have over here daily. It's been a really wonderful, beautiful space that's blossoming over here, and I'm really, really enjoying it. So we would love to have you as a part of our gang over here. Thank you so much for being here, Group 1. Enjoy the rest of your day. Sleazy little city, you know I'm looking for a fight. Hello, Group 2. I don't know if y'all, the music that's been coming in, you can tell that I was raised in the 90s by a mother that was really into 80s music, and in that sort of, she was like in the hairband phase and all that, right? And so the music, the song that came in when I was getting ready to tap into your collective was by Skid Row. And I was like, y'all, like, you gotta help me out here. Like, throw me a bone a bit, because you're giving me songs that they ain't gonna know this song. It's like such a small collective among my demographic who's realistically going to know a Skid Row song. And here they are, and they're like, but it was Youth Gone Wild is the song. I think it was Piece of Me, right? Sleazy little city, you know I'm looking for a fight. Yeah. It's called Piece of Me by Skid Row. So if you want to, like, I don't know, broaden your horizons with me. I love Skid Row, but anyway, that's just like funny. But anyway, it's like, ah, man, y'all are like, you know what? Collective too, and I felt this brewing with you all. You're in this space that, oh my gosh, it is like within this eclipse energy and this like Aries brewing energy. First of all, I would advise y'all to like go into your chart and see where Aries is in your placements, because that's going to tell you kind of where this energy is going to be hitting. A, but B, it's like, oh, like there's something brewing in this collective that y'all are getting. It's like, and I love this for you actually, because this collective is some of the more, I don't want to say, I realized that when I was explaining the collectives, I used the word abrasive. And then after I did that, I was like, is that the right word? Should I have said that? But you're like the tenacity in this collective, because I know what energetic alignment you're tapped into. And I know that right now where you're at in this space, at least in this reading, is like wanting to get out of it. And it's like, it's like, you're just like ready to fight for it, ready to fight for yourself. And I'm here for this moment with this collective, because I think it's been a grip that we have felt, that like it's been a long time coming. I'm glad to see you in this space. Now, I think that something that we need to watch out for is making sure that we don't get into a space where we become too aggressive and that we end up pushing everybody away. But I think it's okay in certain spaces to fight for ourselves, and this would be one of those moments. In fact, I don't want to plant seeds, but some of y'all have been dealing with some awful energy that you just need to kick to the curb. Honestly, if you want my unsolicited advice. Actually, you did solicit me. You came here. So, okay, anyway. All right. So that's what I have kind of brewing in terms of the feelings that I have right now. It's very empowering. It's like, you know what? It is like, I'm done. I'm done dealing with this BS. I'm done dealing with this. I ain't gonna deal with that. It's like that guy when he comes in, what is that, Half Baked? And he's like, fuck you, you're cool. Fuck you, you're cool. You know what I'm talking about? And that's how the vibe is right now with this collective. It's like, y'all are just like, it's like, you're going through and kind of like you just deciding like who's going to go and who's going to stay, and just like, whew, you're gone. And I know this space. I've been in this space, and you can come off real abrasive to those people who treat you or come at you a certain way or step at you a certain way. And probably because they've been used to you kind of like it taking a moment to kind of get you into a reaction. And then all of a sudden it's going to flip, right? And it's going to be like, you've had just enough of these people and enough of their BS. And then they're going to come at you just the right way, right? And you're just going to be like, you know what? Screw you. And it's gonna go off, and then they're gonna be like, what's wrong with you? And it's like, I have been dealing with your crap long enough, and I'm done. That's what. All right, I feel like that's your message. I feel like that's the advice coming through for this eclipse energy. You got the Page of Pentacles. I love that the Fools is Sam and Dean. I don't know if y'all watch Supernatural at all. I love Supernatural. I love me some Dean Winchester. Oh my goodness. Whew. Okay. Anyway, but I love that in this deck, because it's the Supernatural deck, that instead of it being the Fool, it's the Fools, and it's Sam and Dean. It's got to be a good reading when the Winchesters come out to play. I'm not gonna pull all these out. I'm just going to pull out this Death in reverse. Look at, if you watch the show, you will so appreciate that death is actually death. Okay. One more. Oh, come on. The only thing I don't like about this deck is that these cards, like, They don't like to come out very well. 7 of Cups. And then bottom of the deck, we have the Hierophant in reverse. And then we'll kind of see if anything pops out. Well, I'll just shuffle and talk. It helps me to channel. Okay. Page of Pentacle. I'm just going to call it Pentacles and not Pentagrams. Okay, even though that's what it is in this deck. With the Page of Pentacles, it's sort of like this. It's kind of like taking steps for our own stability. It's sort of like, it's kind of like a baby step in stability. It's a baby step in sort of moving forward. However, there is a forward momentum. And the cool thing, you know, the interesting thing about the Fool is that oftentimes we see it as somebody sort of jumping into the unknown, and then you're really not knowing what's on the other side of it. So you could jump and you very well could fall on your face, and we're aware of that. And that's why sometimes we don't take the leaps of faith, or we don't take the risk, and we don't take the leap, you know, the jump. But it's like you're at this place that it's like, it's almost like, it's like, what else do I have to lose? I ain't got nothing else to lose. I've been in this space. You're so resilient anyway. Like the amount of nonsense that you have been going through in the energies that you've been dealing with, and the people that you've been dealing with, and the connections that you've been dealing with. It's just like, we're done. We're done. And so it's like, this is this moment too, where it's like, you've had enough strength, and like a lot of the strength that you've had realistically, and a lot of the resilience that you've been dealing with or building is dealing with shit that you don't deserve realistically. Like that's been the strength for you. And it's like, we're in this position of, it's kind of a pivot opportunity here, collective too, where it's like you're at this like fork in the road, right? And it's either repeat the cycle or step outside of the cycle. And that's sort of the pathway that you're at right now. Because if you continue to go into this space with these people, it's going to just be the same old thing. It's going to just be repeating the same cycle, and you're going to be in the same place, different face, you know? Even if you step outside of one connection, if you don't step out of this energetic alignment, and the energetic alignment that you've tapped into with this within this collective, and there's information going to be in the description box about which alignment you've tapped into and which energies that you've tapped into, because this is a specific alignment that you are in this moment. This is a specific energetic alignment that you are tapped into, and you are in this moment of pivoting and stepping outside of this alignment and understanding the energies that you've been dealing with. And also, big thing that you need to know is that the energy that you put into it, you will receive. And I'm going to drive that home in this channel until we all are on board and we all understand that if we're looking at a connection or a situation and we're angry, and it's okay to be angry, and you in this collective, you have a right to be angry, okay? So no one's taking that. In fact, being angry is really going to be the thing that catapults you out of this scenario. So good. It's good that you're angry right now. Okay. So just don't stay angry is the point. All right. So get angry enough to choose yourself. Get angry enough to decide that you're done. Get angry enough to put your damn foot down in the places that you don't belong in and step outside of it. Okay, but then once you get out of it, you can't look back with resentment. You can't look back with vengeance. You can't look back and be in that space, because it's then karmic law and universal law and energetic law means that if you are in a space in which you're looking at things with animosity and you're pissed off, right? Well, then all the universe knows to do is to give you more things to be pissed off about. And that's what you're trying not to do. That's what you're trying not to feel. So pivot, yes. Get angry enough to choose yourself, yes. Quit being in spaces where you are putting yourself last. Woo! And step outside of this moment. But then once you get in there, we're not looking at things with regret. We're not looking at things with guilt. We're looking at, okay, how can I achieve happiness? We're done wasting our time. We're done wasting our time dwelling. We're done wasting our time looking back at things and wishing that they had different. We're done wishing for different outcomes. We're here and we're accepting. We're going to move into a space of acceptance, and we're going to accept things as they are. I just realized that there are 4 of Wands is sitting here. Yeah, Okay, because this is the thing. Oh, what's under this? The Knight of Wands in reverse. It's just, so we're going to step away from dealing with these situations where there's a lack of passion, essentially. And if we want to experience this sort of Four of Wands energy, which if you know the Four of Wands and you know the Four of Wands is a card of union, it's often looked at as one of the wish fulfillment cards. And wish fulfillment doesn't have to be within connection. Sometimes our wish fulfillment is really just the, the commitment we make to self. And you are in this moment of, so you have actually been in the Hierophant space. You have been in sort of this hermity phase of life where you have just been kind of swallowing yourself. And not all of you. I mean, some of you have been, the way that you've been pushing people away has been through your word daggers and through your kind of more abrasive way of dealing with it. But others of you within this collective have been sort of hiding yourselves in sort of this avoidance space, and it's one or the other. Well, both of those spaces are survival spaces, collective too, and we need to understand that. So we have to step outside of it and choose yourself. Get out of a space where first of all, you got to face your fears. So that's one big thing, is that we got to get into a space where we're looking at, okay, like what is it that I'm afraid of here? Like realistically, and be honest with yourself. Like, what is it about this situation and the impending possible outcome of this situation that you're afraid of facing? And then face it. And then don't look back. And then pivot into choosing yourself perpetually. Because as soon as you get into the space of choosing yourself, you become a better lover. You become a better friend. You become a better parent or mother if you're a mom. Like, you have to get into a space where your cup is filled up enough and it's always full, where you can give into others without going and giving your whole cup to everybody else and looking at it and go, damn, my cup is empty now. That's not how that works. The cup needs to be overflowing. And so we're giving into ourselves so that we can be of service to others. Bam, that's your message. I'll get you some message cards really quick, and then I'm actually going to close out this reading. So I think these were just really quick messages for today. Where are your message cards? Here they are. You got the messages from higher self. Oh, hang on. Some of these just like flew right out. What flew out here? Oh, okay. These two fell out, but these were in the last reading, so I think they were just kind of on top. But I'm going to bring them out for you, and then we'll actually shuffle you some. So it says, stop ruminating over what you did or didn't do and let go. Speak up, speak out, let your voice be heard loud and clear. Yeah, I already know that there's some tapping into this collective that it's like, I know a couple of people that I can like resonate into right away that could tap into this reading, and they just keep so much to themselves about how, like, especially within their emotional body. Find ways to lighten up and not take everything so seriously. Yeah, very analytical thinkers, lots of hermity kind of energy in this. Virgo is a hermit energy. Stop giving away your power right now. You know, I actually really like Virgos, honestly. I really do. I'm such a sucker for male Virgos, and I don't know why, because they're so difficult in my opinion, but I just, yeah, we likes what we likes, right? Collective too. Okay. Here we go. You have the power to create the life you love. Remember that. Absolutely 100%. Take responsibility for your choices. This is your life to live and own it. Yeah, I feel like a lot of us in this collective just have moved from a space of fear for so long that it's like, you know that first of all, y'all have already analyzed the crap out of this scenario, right? So you know that already. You've already been in a space of dwelling, because you wouldn't tap into this energetic alignment if you weren't. So you've already been just in a space of like overthinking and overanalyzing. And that reminds me of a Tool song. Overthinking, overanalyzing separates the body from the mind. Remember that. I don't know if y'all are Tool fans. I think my eclectic music tastes have been coming out a lot in this reading, but it is what it is. I feel like there will be some of you that tap into this that are Tool fans, and in which case, you're my people. Okay, anyway. But yeah, so it's being in this space of just like overthinking and dwelling, and you got to pivot outside of that is like the overall message. You got so much going on in the underbelly of thoughts, right? And in this sort of underworld beneath the surface. And here's the thing about doing that, collective too, is that when it works kind of like a volcano, right? So it can only hold so much before that shit's gonna explode. And so you got to get on top of it, and you got to utilize that for your growth, alchemize that pain into power, alchemize everything that you've been burying down as sort of the catalyst for pushing forward. See it as though you are in the retention of an arrow, right? So when an arrow goes backwards, there's all that tension there, and then it catapults forward. You are in the tension, and I think that many of you are tired of being in the tension. And with this Aries fiery energy, it's very possible that this is going to catapult you right out of that, in which case, good, because I think it's about damn time it happens. All right, collective 2. Sorry, my sass came through a little bit in this collective. If this resonates with you, please like and subscribe to this channel. Leave me a comment down below. I love reading your comments. It's one of my favorite things, but we are trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. So if you like this, you can just like the channel, give me a little bit of support. It would mean the world to me. Thank you so much for being here, group 2. Have a wonderful day. Group 3, collective 3, you have the Temple. Y'all, the energetic shift when I tapped into your reading, I was so sassy and, how do I want to say, I was like sassy and a little bit not aggressive in a bad way, but assertive in the first 2 collectives, where I was like, y'all, it's time to choose yourself, you got this, like, you know, like that energy. And then like I started getting prepared for your reading, and my energetic shift was like, oh man, we're in a more serious space. And my collective 3s, what's going on, man? Yeah, we're just in a little bit more of a serious space in this moment with this this energy from the solar eclipse for your collective. And I wasn't anticipating that, honestly. Like, I was not anticipating getting into this energy with the group 3 collective, and it kind of being a little bit heavier. This is the first time I think I've tapped into your collective, and it's been a bit of a heavier read. And why, y'all? Like, okay, I think what you need, you know what, I get it. I'm picking up what is necessary in this moment, is that you just need a cheerleader in this moment and some encouragement. Remember everything that you have worked on to get into this moment. And it's like, I feel like I'm on the brink of crying. Like, I feel like I'm on the brink of tears. It's like, is it joy? Are you looking back and you're like, man, I think it's this. If I want to be transparent here, I'm always transparent. Why do I say that? Why do I say if I want to be transparent? It's like, at what point, Crystal, are you not transparent? It's like, stop saying that. Because it implies that you're never, that there are times that you aren't transparent. And that just doesn't exist here. Anyway, sorry, side quested that a moment. But I think it's like being in this space of going, just not wanting to be disappointed this time, or not wanting to be in a space like, it's like I'm just so done seeing the same outcome, and being in this space of worry a little bit, where it's like you're just kind of fed up with, it's been a long time coming of being in these spaces where it was kind of doing the same things and expecting different results. And then you moved into a space that you understood the assignment, right? You understood the work that needed to be done on self. You understood what you needed to do in order to feel more whole within self, and you've put in the steps to do that and put in the work to do that. And now it's like, okay, well, I've been in this space and I've been working on myself, and I know I get it. I get the gig. I know that what I'm supposed to be doing. I know why I'm here. I understand the purpose of everything that I've experienced to this point, but I just don't want to be disappointed anymore. I don't want to have to be in a space of almost like being in this moment that's like, at what point is it going to feel like the hard work has paid off, So it's interesting that the Aries energy that has been coming up for this collective is a lot more serious, whereas in the other collectives it's a lot more feisty. It's a lot more like, you're done not choosing yourself. And y'all have been just in this space of like, it's a much more serious vibe in this moment. It seems like some of y'all are going through it a little bit. And it's crazy to me, because the most beautiful collective that I have, all of my collectives are amazing and wonderful, don't get me wrong, but in terms of like, when I see a comment that's like pile 3 here, and then there's a paragraph of like the sweetest things that anyone's ever said to me following that, like, y'all have, sometimes you are the reason that I come into this channel and into this space, and I'll get up in the morning and I'll check my comments, because I know that if someone's commenting from the group 3 collective, that they're going to say the sweetest things, that and the amount of which in which you validate me without me having to ask for it. Like, you're healing a part of me that maybe you don't even know. And it's like, to think that wouldn't be reciprocated back to you, that's just not how it's gonna be, y'all. Like, you are beautiful, selfless humans, and actually compassionate and caring and wonderful. And so what you are giving out, it will be given back to you. It's law, y'all. It's law. Like, that's how karma works. That's how energetic alignment works. And more importantly, y'all know this. I know you know this. I know you're among the collective that I would say, arguably, seems to understand this the most. And so it's okay. Like, we're not always going to be in a moment or in a space in which everything is just sunshine and rainbows at all times. And I understand that 100%, but maybe I'll just need a little bit of a pep talk and a reminder of who the F you are, And you're also the only collective that I censor myself in too. Every other one, I'm like, shit, fuck, damn. It's like, I have such respect in this collective. I have such respect for the energies that pop into the group 3 collective. You're so beautiful. Like, some of you, like, you have made my day. So, like, I can't even tell you, like, what you're doing for me just by being here. Like, I can't imagine that you don't provide that for those around you, and that anybody who was worth their weight wouldn't see and understand and appreciate group 3, because you are such a beautiful collective. All right, let's go ahead and get into your message. What does the group 3? I think really you just need a reminder in this moment. Yeah, it's almost like interesting is like use this use this energy to light a little bit of a fire underneath your ass. Like it's like, yeah, you're in this space of just kind of working on some things. I'm sorry, hang on one second. It's like all of a sudden I got something in my eye in this dang reading, and it's like y'all made me a little bit teary-eyed, and then I got mascara in my eye, and I'm like, I'll be bawling literally by the time I'm done with this reading because then my mascara will be in my eye, just torturing me. Okay, one more for this top row. Maybe something happened, you know, that's quite possible. Why are you feeling knocked off balance? What happened? Are y'all just having a moment? Oh, just like, honestly, the fact, like, just thinking about y'all being knocked off balance hurts my heart. What is going on? Oh my goodness. I think y'all are, okay, so if something didn't transpire within a connection, okay, or this is like the fear that you have that this isn't going to work out, and you're feeling just so off balance, like you're feeling like you're not good enough, feeling like you're not, oh my gosh, like what in the world, y'all? Not wanting to step forward, being in a moment of strength. And being in the space of a new beginning. So it's either that something happened that knocked you off balance. Yeah, two cards here of a new beginning. And the Four of Swords and being in a space of healing, and the Hanged Man. Y'all, and Temperance. What is going on with my group 3 collective? Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. I just want to like, okay, reach out and give y'all hugs. So I don't know if this is, y'all are in a space right now of worry, okay? And you're in this space of worrying that this hope that you've put forth is not what you had hoped for. Or if something transpired and came sort of into fruition, and since we last spoke, that has kind of shifted the energy a little bit within this collective. Well, here's the thing is if there's somebody in your line of vision that doesn't see you for who you are, then it's really saying a lot more about them, collective 3, than it is about you. Because I do know energy, and I feel a little bit arrogant in that department, and I would say that I know it well enough to know when an energy is genuinely compassionate and genuinely kind versus buttering me up or has a certain personality type. Not a single person who has come into the group 3 collective at any point has said anything that would indicate that they were anything but the kindest people. You are so beautiful, such an amazing, and your energy is so rewarding. And it's like, I don't know what happened, but I know damn well that you didn't deserve it. That much I do know. Now, if we're just in a space of worrying, okay, if we're just in a space of worrying that this may be the outcome, y'all, you are smart enough to know about energetic alignment, so you best get your ass out of that energy right now and start looking at it from a different perspective. You know this. You know this. So you need to get into a space in which you are giving out love energetically in all spaces, because it is law that is reciprocated back to you. And if something happened within a connection, then you know what? This is a moment of reflection. This is a moment for you to look within yourself and recognize that not all people will see our value. But I really just don't know if that's the case in this situation, or if it's just, it feels more so like, you know, how it came through in the beginning of like, I just don't want to be in that space again. I don't want to, you know, it's just almost being in a space of like giving up a little bit is more so the vibe. It doesn't really seem like, now, for some of you, maybe it did happen, but it almost feels more so like this hermit space, right? And this fiery energy that's coming in with the eclipse, that it's making you dwell a little bit and making you kind of be in a what if space. And y'all know better and to get out of that. Okay, now if something did happen, I just don't know, but it feels a lot more like it's like an idea that something could happen. And you got to get out of that energy. You have to get out of that energy. You got to pivot outside of it. It's okay to go within. It's okay to work on yourself, okay? It's okay to be in that energetic, you know, like in an alignment that understands like, oh, you know, that's maybe a little bit overwhelmed in this energy or feeling some type of way. Totally okay. Like it's okay to be knocked off balance, but don't and actually, you know what, I don't even think that this group three collective, like I already know y'all don't stay knocked off balance for long. I know you're in a resilient space, but energetically it seems as though some of this like passionate energy has actually put you into a state of dwelling a little bit, and I guess we're just here to be a reminder to knock it off. Okay, let me get you some message cards. I wasn't anticipating that. Every time it's happened to y'all, it's like such a wonderful, pleasant space. But you know what? It's like, obviously, we can't always, like, that's just an unrealistic expectation, right? Collective 3, that we're always going to be in this like happy-go-lucky space. Like, no, that would be... First of all, the world would be so boring if we were always like that, right? Like, we wouldn't learn shit if we were in that space. We wouldn't learn a damn thing. We'd just be shiny, happy people holding hands. And probably not very interesting people at that, so. All right, let's get you some messages. The improviser. I effortlessly adapt to deal with unexpected circumstances. Oh, okay. The seeker. I seek new friends and experiences to expand my awareness. Now, whatever has kind of gone down in this collective, I'm so sorry. The confidence. I honor all I have done to make me who I am today. You're damn right. The warrior. Thank you. I ask for what I want because I deserve to get what I want. Facts. I also have the loner on the bottom of the deck that says I enjoy being alone and getting in touch with my true feelings. You know, something that could come up in this collective that I could actually see you kind of stumbling over a little bit is being overgivers, because you are very giving people, and to what avail? You know, we have to make sure that we're giving in spaces that our efforts are appreciated, and that you're not over giving, you know, that you're not giving out from your cup and then looking at your cup and going, oh dang, my cup is empty again, and then feeling unfulfilled, because that's a recipe for disaster. And I already know y'all are so giving just because you give to me, like the time that y'all give me. You're often you're the biggest commenters. The majority of people who comment on my stuff are the group 3 collective. Almost, I would say like 70 to 80% of the comments and feedback that I get on this channel is from the group 3 collective. So I already know that you're givers. I already know that you're capable of giving so much of yourself to others selflessly, but it's like, y'all, you gotta choose yourself. And that's like the big theme of this reading and this eclipse energy, is that we got to get in a space where we are putting that effort into ourselves. And you're already in a space where you've done so much work on yourselves that, like, wouldn't it be ironic that where we would trip up is being too good? It's like, of course, of course. Now my issue is that I'm just too nice. It's like, and it reminds me of that, like, really, like, what now kind of vibe, right? But, you know, that's a part of building in our own empowerment too. It's like, yes, you are kind and compassionate and sweet and generous, but don't get into a space then where you are allowing yourself to get walked all over in that space either, right? We have to have boundaries, and we also have to understand where our cup is filled and we can't pour from it anymore, and to give ourselves a break. All right. I hope you guys feel better soon, Group 3. Thank you so much for being here. If this resonated with you, please like and subscribe to the channel. Leave me a comment down below. I am trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, so any support that you could provide me in this moment, it would be very beneficial to me and my family. Thank you so much for being here, Group 3. Enjoy the rest of your day.